Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Tammy.
Hi, Lisa. Hey,
How's it
everybody.
going?
It is going good. I'm feeling better. Things are being done. I'm pretty excited. How
Rocking
about
and
you?
rolling.
Yes, rocking and now. I will say though, right now we have one big rock that's rolling, and a lot of little rocks are not rolling as much as I had wanted them to. But that's one of the things that we're going to talk about today is the struggle.
The struggle bus.
Struggle bus.
Yeah,
And
so
we
we'll
have
just wait for the notification to go out and get some
okay,
folks in here, some more.
sounds good.
Um, but yeah, definitely we will get going on all of that. We'll give people a chance to come on in and nicer weather. Everybody's out, which is awesome.
Hmm.
So
How
how
was your
so
weekend?
it was very nice. Very busy. Very
Awesome.
busy. We are anxiously awaiting piglets.
Woohoo!
So Eleanor is due Monday.
Oh, so
So
exciting. How old do the piglets have to be before you can rehome them?
once they are weaned, so some people do it earlier. I'm thinking about 8 to 10 weeks.
Hmm. Awesome.
You play it by ear, see how it
Yeah.
goes. But yeah, we got the camera up in her barn. We've got the um, you've seen her barn, and so she has that wide open access to the pasture. So
Uh huh.
we have a panel on a hinge now
Uh
to
huh.
close her in, because once I close her in, then I have to give her a smaller water bowl and remove her pool,
Uh
so the
huh.
piglets are not in any jeopardy.
Uh huh.
Tammy, I have to check outside. We're having a windy day. Can I let you carry the show for a second?
Sure.
Because I just heard something fall over, and I think it's probably a tomato plant, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank
Sure.
you.
So, everybody, thank you all for joining us today. And we're going to be waiting for some more people to get started, and we'll have Lisa back over here. Hello, Blue. Good to see you. I know I have a little delay in my chat, so I might be saying hello to folks a little later. But good to see you, and thanks for joining us.
Hey, Blue. And thank you for that, Tammy. I apologize.
No
I
problem.
heard something rolling outside. The wind has been fierce and
Ah,
steady today, and I thought those hydroponic ones fell over.
oh no, what was it? It wasn't anything.
I don't see anything, but
Okay,
it wasn't them. So that was my main
awesome,
concern, because I worry about the containers cracking. So I wanted to catch it before it rolls away.
awesome.
But
Glad
thank
that
you for
nothing.
doing that. Oh,
Ouch, no problem. You were fast.
I was fast. I was
You
fast.
were.
Um, I'll swap you for Windy. Yeah, I bet you would. The hard part here with Windy is Windy and dry are a bad combination, because they create the wildfire risk. And
Oh
after
my good.
yesterday,
Hello, Annie's Kitchen and Urban Homestead. You are up early.
whew, I'd be snoozing.
Goodness.
I'd be snoring right now if it was 103. Or who am I kidding? I'd be just going to bed. I'd be just going to bed.
I hear you, Lisa.
Well, it's funny, I was talking to you about piglets a moment ago before I had to check on the wind outside, and
Hmm.
not to make it all about piglets, but anyone who knows me knows that
Everybody loves piglets. You go right ahead.
I am over the top right now. Excited. And every day is like waiting for Santa to come.
Are you
And
guessing how many? Oh my gosh, you should do a pool for how many piglets will Eleanor have?
people say that, but Eleanor, she's not talking. I keep every night I go down and feed her, and every night she breaks out the fence, and every night I go out and ask her how many babies you got in there, and she's just not telling me. But so I figure Sunday night will be very sleepless, and so will
You
several
know it.
other nights, but that's okay. I want to
Hmm.
make sure she's okay, so everybody sends some. The main thing is that Eleanor is okay.
Yes.
That's the piglets. I understand that will be there tends to be loss, and that's
Yeah.
reality.
Well, it
And
is.
I can deal with that, but I just want Eleanor to be okay because she has got a personality on her
Hmm.
that just makes me laugh so hard.
Yes.
Oh, hey G Mama
Hey, G
and
Mama
Annette, really
Grace.
go to sleep, Annette. Really, it's really sleep is more important than lives, girl.
What is your best guess on how many piglets she's gonna have?
um. Okay, I have to say this. Eleanor is big in a belly hanging kind of way.
Hmm.
Has been from the start. Fiona is big in a wide way.
Hmm.
I don't know what that means, but I will say this. She, I'm going to say 6 to 10. Of course, Ryan doesn't want to hear 10 because if they both have 10, we're going to have 20 pigs running around.
Hmm.
But yeah, just send positive energy and
You
thoughts our
got it.
way. And anybody who's watching, just an FYI, and I will talk about this on all our other lives. You and I are on a bunch of lives this week, and I'm on a bunch of lives this week
Hmm.
trying to get stuff out. So I had a couple quick announcements if I could. Um,
Sure.
so I'm going to be on Kettle Kitchens live tonight. Tony at Kettle Kitchens live tonight. The Homesteading Academy that was going to be for tonight has moved, and it will be
Oh,
Thursday at 9 p.m.
okay.
MST, which is Mountain Standard.
Mhm.
And the reason why it's so late is trying to coordinate with Brian, and we didn't want to step on Bland's Promised Land Ranches live.
Mhm.
So when Bland's ends, we're going to start. So the replay will be there if you're interested in bees. Um,
So
the
not
other
tonight, Thursday night at 9 p.m.
correct
Awesome.
Bees
Okay.
101 with Brian at Castle Hives.
Mhm.
Again, the Homesteading Academy is not your typical live. So folks, like we're trying to keep the chat clean for questions.
Mhm.
We'll have a Q&A period. So really it's one of those things where come and watch it if you want to learn something and just sit back and relax and then wait for the Q&A.
Mhm.
Like I know it's going to be weird and it's a little different. You want to say hi to people, go ahead and say hi, but I really want it to be an educational thing. So don't feel
Mhm.
you got to catch it live. You can catch it later. And if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. It's
I'm
okay.
excited for that. I'm excited for the educational format,
Yeah,
um, and all of the information that we're able to use and apply. I think that's going to be awesome.
absolutely. And so, yeah, it's a little different, than the YouTube community. But again, we're just trying to streamline everything and really get education out there so people can learn. Because one of the things when I did the May Homesteading Challenge on Instagram
Mhm.
was people are asking questions. They need knowledge. And so that's why I want to do this. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So that will be Thursday night. And then you and I, Tammy, you want to tell people where we'll be?
So we will be on Vancity Prepper. And the final date and time, Lisa, it is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the 28th, right? At 2 p.m.
I
Do I have it all wrong?
was counting on you to have it. I wasn't even prepared. Girl, I'm retired. I don't keep a schedule anymore. Hey, our treasured home. Hey, Ariella. No worries. No worries. Just go to
I'll
sleep,
go peek.
Ariella.
I'll peek real quick so we can make sure that we're telling everybody the right stuff. Hold on.
Hey, Lisa Kalovi. Hey.
I just know in my mind, I was thinking next week. We're all good.
I thought it was this Thursday.
Oh, is it? Oh, hold on. Hold on.
Oh, no. You're right. Go ahead. Look, I'm going to shut up because
Hold
I don't know
on.
what I'm doing.
Okay, here we go. I got it. It is Thursday, July 28th. At I was correct. 2 p.m. Mountains. Wait, hold on. Maybe not. 12 p.m. Pacific time.
You
So that
got
is
it.
2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, right?
No, it'll be 1
No,
p.m.
1 p.m. Oh, that's right. 1 p.m.
Stay
So
stay tuned to Vancity Prepper.
yes, Vancity Prepper. and it'll be 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because that's what I am on right now.
So we'll be talking about self-sustainability, self-sufficiency.
Mindset and self-sufficiency, self-sustainability. We are so excited. It's going to be a great conversation. And that was my hubby you all just saw walking behind me.
Don't worry, Mountain Grandma's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so and then I think, hey, Mountain Grandpa.
Yeah,
And
we seen you.
and so I think the last one is we will have our Friday night live this week, but we will not have it on the 29th because that is Ryan's birthday.
Oh, awesome.
And so stay tuned to our Friday night live this week and I'll tell you more about it, because if I have piglets, I'm probably going to disappear for a while because I'm going to be a very busy lady.
Well, you're going to show us, right? Are you going to do like you did with the turkeys?
I'm going to try, but I'm going to be real. The safety of the pigs comes first.
Yep.
When I'm hatching turkeys, there's nothing I can do.
That's right.
When the piglets are coming out, I really don't care how I look, but you're going to see a lot of crying, a lot of laughing, and I'm going to look like a crazy person.
Aww.
And then I'm probably going to freak out because I've never done it.
Yeah.
But my point is with the livestock, something can happen. And I have to focus on the animals more so. I do have a camera going in there, but it's a surveillance camera.
Yeah.
So obviously I have my GoPro and all that. I will try. That's all I can promise. But my focus is going to be on Eleanor and her babies more so than videotaping it. Good night, Annette. Thanks for being here. Hey, Brooklyn's honeybees. Yeah, I have to focus on my animals. That's going to be my priority, and making sure everybody's safe and healthy. So let's get into the whole reason why we're here. Thanks for putting up with that whole side chat. But sometimes it's good to do housekeeping, as they say.
It is.
So today we don't have a guest on purpose, right? Today is all about how are your goals doing? How are your goals doing? And do you need a tune-up?
Yeah.
Hey, Barb's Country Home. So how are your goals doing? And do you need a tune-up? So
because we're mid-year, right?
Mid-year.
We are mid-year. So everyone in the chat that's here now or that's coming back for the replay, I hope you all will think about what were your initial goals for this year, and pull out your little notes, or, just if you didn't write it down, think back. What were your initial goals for this year? Take a look at those and sort of assess where you're at. I mean, you might find that some of your goals haven't really budged much, but maybe a couple of them have really zoomed. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So I hope you'll pull those out. Remind yourself, what did you want to do this year? Because you're halfway there to the end.
I can tell you the struggle bus here is the garden per usual.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make a declaration.
Do it.
I'm done. Unless we have a high tunnel, I don't think I'm planting a garden next year. I'm not.
But your garden looks so beautiful on the last update. What's going on?
In the greenhouse, yeah.
The greenhouse looks awesome.
I just think that the weather is such a factor. So it's dry. We're in a moderate drought. And I feel like I'm not a gardener. I planted years ago, and I did it in New England. You just literally broadcast seeds and they grew. You didn't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you got a pest, right?
Yep.
And that's okay. But I'm not a hardcore gardener. I'm not. The only reason I do it is to try and grow food. So when I see folks grow these gardens, right? And
beautiful, beautiful gardens that people grow.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I think the bigger thing is not so much beautiful, but they're pulling in harvests that are huge. And
that's what I call beautiful.
Well, they're huge harvests, but they can do something with it. I'm pulling in one piece of fruit at a time if I'm
Yeah.
lucky. So
Mhm.
quite honestly, I'm one of those people where I'm going to focus on doing something I like or I
Mhm.
love versus something I'm going to pour all my hard effort into and it's not going to yield a thing.
Yeah.
Now, I will also like the
Can I
green.
stop you right there because I
Yeah.
want to make a comment on what you just said.
Yep.
So when I used to sell Avon, I was an executive unit leader. So I was, doing I got a check in the mail every month. Um, and not so in other words, I didn't just make money off of what I sold. I made money off of my downline, and it was fun. But what we used to say back then was you focus on the cream that rises to the top, and that's exactly what you said. And that's when you say that's just the kind of person you are, that's actually a tool a lot of people use to be successful. So like even in your own personal skill set, you focus on the things you do best, and yes, work on the other stuff, but
Right.
really capitalize on the things that you tend to do best and really have to offer. This can go for survival, it can go for gardening, it can go for everything. All of us have a different, unique set of skills and opportunities. Like you mentioned, like what you're saying with us gardening, you and I have a similar area. We had hail last week, and I was thinking of you because I was like, you got hail. We finally got some kind of moisture, and it came down frozen.
Yeah, and it's if people think, well, it comes down frozen, you'll get more moisture out of it. No,
Nope.
it destroys everything, so there's really no point.
Punches holes and everything.
Yeah, that's a good point. And G Mama was like, "Don't stop." And G Mama, I'm not stopping. I
Mm-hmm.
just am not gonna grow. I'm staying this now. It may change, but
Yeah.
hey, Camp Silky, I agree. I'm just saying that in the greenhouse, there's a lot more joy coming out of the greenhouse
Yes.
shortly
Mm-hmm.
than there will be outside. I've got a cucumber this big outside, this big,
Awesome. It'll
right?
get bigger. Yeah.
No,
Awesome.
no, that's how big our no, I'm not even a cucumber. I'm sorry, I meant the plant.
Uh-huh. Oh, the
The plant,
plant. Okay, I
the plant is
gotcha.
that big. The one in the greenhouse is going crazy, and it's got flowers on it. So for me,
Hey.
telling me don't waste your
Mhm.
time growing
Yep.
in. That's why I didn't put a weed cloth down.
Yeah.
Why am I going to bother spending money on a weed cloth when nothing
Yep.
grows? Right? I'm just being
Yep.
factual,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's just, doing things smarter. So to me, it's like that cheap little greenhouse. If I can prove that that greenhouse can really yield some fruit, I'll have Ryan hooked because he's a cheap man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have a question for you. Have you thought about maybe getting another greenhouse?
Oh, that's why I'm hoping that this one yields an incredible harvest. And the reason, if it does, I will have talked Mr. Cheap into building something.
Yeah, because now you know what works.
Right. And that's the thing. That's how you extend the season. I mean, I started tomatoes indoors under the grow lights March 9th. They're
Mhm.
out there full of tomatoes. We had one ripe already, and that was
That's
incredible. That's a
awesome.
month earlier than usual.
Mhm. Awesome.
Um, and so now all these sweetheart cherry tomatoes are there, and they're starting to turn red. Once they start turning red, now if I get a whole big old harvest I can do something with,
Hmm.
that'd be great. But
Yeah.
like everybody's like, why don't you can? Well, I don't get the harvest to can. It's a waste of
Hmm.
my time. I get one tomato at a time.
You have a little lonely tomato in a jar.
Yeah, exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. So yeah, and G Mama said my garden outside is a smorgasbord for the bugs. I'm controlling the garden inside the greenhouse, kind of. Yeah, and Jackie and Frank are, at Berkshire Farm are dealing with the temps of 100. I mean, I know people
It's
in
hard.
Texas, in I think it's near Dallas,
Hmm.
and I think it was 107 degrees, and their stuff in their greenhouse is like dead.
Hmm.
See, and so there's the
Dang it.
thing with my little greenhouse is I have to leave the door open all day long.
Uh
I
huh.
have to leave the vent open, but if we get a high tunnel, we'll be able to get the heat in there, but get
Hmm.
enough airflow.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to be able to get in my greenhouse in another few days because of that
Because it's
cucumber.
just so full.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I loved the Vineyard Chicks talking about if a tomato branch breaks off to just plant it. And I got to thinking, ooh, when my tomatoes get that big, I would love to just trim them so they're manageable and then plant those branches. That's what I'm going to plan on trying to do. I have had some similar struggles with our garden as well. I do have a harvest of potatoes that's ready to come.
Nice.
And the potatoes, I'm hoping I got potatoes in there. It's my first year growing potatoes. We will see. But the red potatoes are ready to come up.
Nice.
I harvested my garlic. I had planted like 35 garlic. Y'all, they're all like little bitty old bulbs. So not a big win on the garlic. I think I could still eat them. I need to do a video and fess up to that one. I've got onions out there, and I think I need to get some nitrogen fertilizer on them because I'm concerned that's probably why my garlic didn't do well. That, and I think I grew them too close together. I always seem to do the best research after something fails. So that's like when I really learn. It's crazy, but I guess that's my method. But they should be like 6 to 9 inches apart. And I have slump blocks that I plant in with dirt. And I had put 9 in a slump block. And if you think about that, pretty close. They were like 3 inches apart. And so I think that was contributing to it. And maybe some nitrogen. Maybe there wasn't enough nitrogen. So I've got those. I have some plants that died on me this year. I have one tomato plant left. That's why I am saying I'm going to go with that method of what the Vineyard Chick said of the long branches, planting them, because then I've got like a starter, right? Like already started. So as soon as it gets big enough, I'm going to do that. But we do have some big plans that I'm needing to be cautious of in the time that these things are going to grow.
Right.
The harvest time. Am I going to be available for the harvest?
Right.
Without getting into too much detail, that's for a future conversation, but it's really made it tricky garden-wise here.
Yep, absolutely. And Gwen was remarking. So Gwen, South Dakota is very varied terrain. And so the gardens that you're seeing are in much different areas than where I live. So the eastern side of the state is extremely hot. They get a lot more of these rainstorms and everything. They're at a much different elevation than we are. In fact, all the derechos and the tornadoes are all on that side of the state for the most part. For the most part, we've had them down the road here. We're in the southern Black Hills. So if you picture the western and southern part of the state by Wyoming and Nebraska, we're about an hour and a half from Nebraska. So our elevation is 5,318 feet. So we get down in the 50s at night. Today we're in the 70s. Yesterday we were at a record high of like 98, which was
holy smokes,
the highest.
Dang.
We get that weather, but like extreme weather does not stay here long usually. But we're usually very cool. And so even the animals weren't used to it yesterday. Now, if you go 10 minutes down the road for me or 15 minutes down the road for me in any direction, you're getting out into the plains territory. So to give you an example, an hour north of us is Rapid City. They were at 106 degrees and they're about 2,000 foot elevation lower than we are. They have no problem gardening, none whatsoever.
What is your elevation?
5,318 feet.
Okay.
So now if you go down the road from us, 10 minutes south, I would say 20 minutes south of us, you got to get out of the mountains. People are growing there too, but that's like the big joke around here is you can't grow anything here because we don't have a long enough growing season. And so like the tomatoes, when we get those 50-degree nights and then we only get in the 70s during the day and no humidity, right? We water constantly because
Right.
the ground gets cracked and dry. Um, because everything wilts the minute you don't water it, which is crazy. And I know Janie at Dig Water Plant Repeat, we got a podcast episode,
Mhm.
um, talked about not watering your plants, but like not babying them so that way they become more drought tolerant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we have carrots in the ground. We have carrots in the ground. We're growing broccoli. We're growing cauliflower. We're growing some zucchini, some yellow squash. We're growing
Awesome.
all of that. They're so slow to mature, and by the time they
Mhm.
mature, we'll be cold already.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jesus loving
So
repeater. I'm not opposed to it. I'm done with go doing it in the ground. I've never seen anything like
mhm.
it. I mean,
So let me
so
ask you this, Lisa. In the 7 F's, where did you have your garden? Which one of the F's?
I'll look it up. She
I
just
think you
busted
had
me
it
on
under
TV.
family, but I could be wrong.
No, I think
That's
I
where I
had
had it.
it.
I'm probably just thinking of me.
You just busted me. I thought it was future.
You might have had it under future.
Oh, here it is.
I propose,
Future.
I propose that with your garden, I mean, I feel like it's been a success. I know you're acknowledging all of the struggles that you're having,
Yep.
but I remember when we first talked about gardening, you were really honing in on the crack key gardening and the greenhouse, and you
That's
tried to do
great.
the. Sometimes things are an experiment. We have to try them, and I feel like this has been a great experience for you. I feel like the garden is doing well. Even always tell my husband, hey, I'm not just gardening to grow food. I'm gardening to learn something. So you know what I mean? Even from what doesn't work, we figure out why. Like my garlic. Like I know why. You know what I mean? Next time I grow it, I'm going to do better. But
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about any of this when I grew garlic in the valley. Like I had plenty of garden space. It was previously cattle land. We had worms in our dirt. It was beautiful. And it was awesome. I didn't have to give it anything. I put it in the ground and up she come. So we still learn from these. I think for you, I think you've talked about the high tunnel, you've talked about the greenhouse. Put that down as one of your goals and then just start figuring out when and how and what resources you'll use. You know what I mean? And who knows, you might have a resource that just comes available that you get blessed with because you guys find the coolest stuff always.
Yeah, he's looking. He's looking. The bigger issue, and I'll be honest with you, gardening is not something I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I do it to grow food, not because I want to do it, not because I
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I totally know what you're saying. You enjoy the animals more.
Much, much more, much more. And
Mm-hmm.
right now, I really don't want to take on the gardens.
Yeah. Are you
You know.
enjoying the greenhouse?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think you would enjoy another one, or do
Yep.
you think it's almost going to be too much?
I would enjoy it. And I think here's the thing. I think that if it was productive, I would
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it. Not
Yeah.
being productive, I don't like when things waste my time. When I pour all my effort into it
Yep.
and it just it feels like a waste of my time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm pouring my heart and soul into it, but I'm also not going to sit there and try to learn how to grow like shampoo ginger. It's great if you're a
That
gardener and you
sounds
want to
fun to
learn to
me.
grow all that cool stuff. That's great.
Yes.
I just want to grow some food to put up.
I want to grow some shampoo ginger.
I know you do, but that's awesome. You
I
like
won't
growing
lie.
herbs. So what's your struggle bus?
So my struggle bus, it has been the weather, but hey, we got blessed with a lot of rain this week. I gotta say, we're getting like all the Midwest's rain. I'm sorry, you guys. We really didn't need it though. But it's I can't just blame it on the weather. my struggle bus, and now to kind of, so I had garden under family also. And in here, under my family, I wanted to work on, I always put skills, wanted to work on skills. I haven't gotten any animals yet, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason that I can't share with everybody just yet, but you're going to know within the next 4 to 8 weeks.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yes. Basically, when you look at all of your goals, you know, some of these picture like, you know, a vessel, a container, if you want to call it a jar, with rocks of different sizes in there, right? Like that's you, I don't know, everybody probably heard of, if you really think you can't do anything in a day, then put big rocks in a jar. And then when the jar is full, be like, oh, the jar is full. And then add in littler rocks, and you're going to fit some little rocks in there.
Yeah.
Even though you thought the jar was full. And then after you think it's full, you can even pour sand in. And then if you still think it's full, try adding water. So I only mention this because I feel like all of us can really get more out of our days than what we think we can. And then we get more out of our lives because, you know, time flies, man. The older you get, it really does. With that being said, picture those rocks and the sand and all that as your goals of what you're going to do during your day and during your week and your month and so on. Some of those rocks are really large. Can we just say that we have one very big rock that is taking up a lot of our jar? That's the best way I could, you know, try to describe it. We have a very enormous goal that we are working on for the family. And I don't have anything to share yet. We are working on it. So that will be information to come. But that big rock is really inhibiting how many little rocks I can put in there in that jar. That being said, I am gardening. I do got the potatoes. I got the onions out there, hoping that those both turn out successful. We know my garlic didn't, and this is in terms of the garden. So we're on F for family, right? I've got my big rock that everybody's going to hear about within the next month or two. I would say my garden is not as, there's some things I did not plant, and I did that intentionally. But that's what I'm going to get a lot from. I was able to harvest some mullein out of our yard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, oh man, I love mullein. I've got to make sure I get that in seed form if we ever go somewhere, because I want to make sure I can take that mullein and plant it and have it proliferate wherever I go.
Yeah.
So that's been my biggest struggle, Lisa, is that I have this really big rock. I will say, if we bump over to the faith F, this really big rock has led to a lot of praying on our part. We have been praying a lot. I feel like I've been doing really well with, in the morning, acknowledging my thanks, you know, to God. Thank you for this day. Lord, let this day, you know, be a good one for us. I feel like I've done well there. Finances, I think we're doing all right there. And I would like for us to just take a minute to talk about finances, Lisa. And
yeah, that works. I'm
push
just
it back to you.
I am posting. Let me just post. Candid Explorer came in. Hey there, Kat. Let me just post. I'm trying to post some links.
And hey, everybody, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. So, yeah, I'll go back to mine. Let's see here. So finances, when you were sick, I did the finances, and I didn't go as hardcore as I really wanted to. I wanted to really
Let's do it. Let's go hardcore on there.
If you want something, you got to do something.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I'm serious. Like, don't get me wrong. I know there's limitations. I know that. And I'm going to be hardcore for a minute. When we first got married, we had nothing. We sold stuff. Like,
that sounds like
seriously sold stuff to get a down payment. We didn't buy anything unless we could pay for it. We didn't buy it unless we had to have it. We lived like that our entire lives. Like the three of us as a family, we lived dirt cheap for a reason.
Yeah.
And that was so we could put money away, we could go do things when we wanted to go do them, all that kind of stuff. And we never lived in fancy houses. Like if you guys could see my kitchen, it is so mismatched with 3 different color countertops. I'm just being honest because I don't value that. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get done at some point, but when you know what happened in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
that was not where I was sinking my money.
Mm-hmm.
It is not in material things. I've done it. I'm not doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
So and we have credit cards, but we don't have any debt.
Mm-hmm.
But we have those in case of
That's awesome.
emergency. But you know, we have always bought houses that would leave us with a mortgage that would be, I always say, the equivalent of rent, but I have to
Mm-hmm.
tell you, all of them are now way less than rent ever was, because we always bought houses that needed work.
Mm-hmm.
We always bought houses that are not fancy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not singing our praises. I'm just telling you my reality. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care about that stuff.
Yep.
That's why we live on a main road that you guys don't
Mm-hmm.
often see, but that's because we choose not to afford to live in the middle of nowhere and have huge debt.
Mm-hmm.
So could I go out and, could we go buy acres and acres of property? Yes. And then we'd be paying property taxes. We'd be sweating it. We'd be doing all that stuff. But honestly, we will stick with our 2-acre farm because I'm not spending 3 times the price on the property out here and then not dealing with water.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep.
So, hey, Garden State Gardener. So, all those decisions over 21 years of being married, coming up
Mm-hmm.
on July 20th, are the reasons why we're at where we're at now, and that's because we've sacrificed.
Yep.
And we have our house mortgage, and we have a side-by-side. We have no car payments.
Mm-hmm.
We have nothing.
Oh, that's where we want to be. You're ahead of a lot of people.
Well, but we've been doing this for years and years and years,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to understand. I had a 7-year-old when I met Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have children together, so we skipped that whole piece.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality of it is I could pay the side by side off, but it's 0%, so it's already paid
Mm-hmm.
like 2 years ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and I get it, Lazarus, absolutely. But it's focus on society wants you to have X, Y, and Z, and a lot of us get caught up in it.
Mm-hmm.
We want it, a lot of people want a brand new Kubota. If you can get a brand new Kubota, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're leasing a brand new Kubota and then complaining you don't have the money, that's where the issue comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we bought a 1930s, 40s tractor that needed work.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't get
and that you can work on.
Right.
I mean, we haven't shopped for tractors because right now we have no need for one.
Right.
But I would imagine that the newer tractors are like newer vehicles and you can't really work on them. You're going to have to get someone else. So that's one perk of the older ones. Yeah. You're able to work on them.
And we drive vehicles. Like I'm driving a hail damaged pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a 2014. We'll continue to drive it as long as possible.
Heck, that's our plan too. I mean, ours doesn't have hail damage. I mean, not yet.
No. We've had it fixed twice. We've had it fixed twice. And at this point, I'm not going to keep paying the deductible.
Yeah.
Because
just for cosmetics.
Yeah, it's just cosmetics. I mean, the truck runs. I'd rather focus on its care. I really don't worry about it at this point. I mean, the only reason we have the side-by-side is we didn't have a tractor early on and we got a good deal on it. And
awesome.
0%. And quite honestly, that has made, we've used that for every project, and we've also used it for fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's our entertainment too. So if I got
We
too
are,
hardcore, I'm sorry.
yep. My husband and I, we rented most of our life just because, we couldn't qualify
Right.
for a house. And our last house, I am the same way with decorating. I wouldn't say it's my strong point. We actually had to go out and like get things to fix the house. To fix the house, it like had to go put up curtains and whatnot, right? Because I didn't do that while we were. I'm very form meets function. That's kind of how I roll. Like so. That is something that I've had to do in order to like sell our previous home. But we also, I've never owned a brand new washer and dryer or even brand new couch. I've never owned brand new couches. I've never actually, I almost bought one. And then I figured out those things come in pieces. Like I thought I was getting a good deal on a leather couch and they delivered it. And I figured out it wasn't leather. So they lied to me when I was in there and it was in pieces and they put it together like Legos. And I've only owned old stuff. I didn't know they made furniture like that. So I had them come get the dang thing. And I was like, forget this. I want a whole couch, not one that fit together. But it's kind of the same way. We've had to watch our finances just because we have to be able to do things. But, once you get to a certain point, kids move out of the house, you do have a little more than what you found you had when you were raising the kids, partly because you're older, maybe, your income level has gone up, but, the paying out for the kids goes down. So then you just got to be cautious. What are you spending your money on?
Right.
Most of us are still spending money on our kids. And I would say there's no better investment than your children. But at the same time, you don't want to get yourself to a point where they end up having to invest in you. And if we're not wise, that could happen. So we try to make all of our decisions for the family. Even though the kids are grown, we consider ourselves like a team, and let's, meet this challenge of life together. And what can we do to help the kids have it a little, maybe a little easier than what we had it.
Yeah. And I think it comes down to, and I just want to give an example, right? So we had used for 11 years. We had hand-me-downs, right? All this stuff when we moved from Connecticut to North Carolina. So, but here's a financial decision, right? It got to the point where, I don't know if you've seen movers, even if you're moving yourself. And it got to the point where we made a decision. Was it cheaper to buy a bigger truck to move stuff that was already so old?
Yeah. Right.
Or was it better to buy something cheaper new? Right. You just don't get the great stuff. Hey, hedgehogs. So that's some of the decisions we've had to make, and we've become
that's a good choice. That's a good thing to bring up.
Because there are those furniture discount places where it ain't great stuff. I know that. But
or estate sales.
Right.
Options.
So what I've done is, instead of moving furniture, sometimes we move some pieces, but we don't always move all of it because the price is astronomical to move it. And I just want to go to Barb's Country Home for a minute. Said they use their riding lawnmower as our tractor. And Barb, you saw that raw footage video we had where we moved buildings with our John Deere. And that was a John Deere family gave us. We actually have 2 of them that family gave us. And that's all how we move stuff. That and a big pry bar with leverage. So yeah, you go.
I think it comes down to too, like wherever your money is, there your heart is also. I'm sure everybody's heard that. I can give you an example. I get a lot of my clothes. I love thrift stores. I do love thrift stores, or a darn good deal. I was raised to never buy anything unless it's on sale. Like everything goes on sale.
Yep.
And I had there was one point where we didn't have a washer and dryer, so I had to take my laundry down to the laundromat, and I had stepped away, and somebody stole my clothes out of the dryer. And
Oh,
the first thing I thought was, oh, thank God I didn't spend a lot of money on those clothes. That's really what I thought. Like, oh, thank God I didn't spend. It was work clothes at the time. I was going into an office, so it was my, dresses and whatnot. But I thought, thank God I didn't spend a lot of money on those clothes. That was kind of I don't know. At that point, I thought, good heavens, if I would have really valued everything that just got taken from me, I would, be in a heck of a mess.
yeah.
Lazarick Homestead, yes, I love thrift stores. I think they are so fun to go in and see
Yes.
what you can find. You can find good stuff in there.
It was funny. Barb said something about whatever happened to futons, and it was funny because I've got a futon frame here. I'm debating what to do with it. It's solid wood.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I want to sell it, but I want Diesel to keep the mattress.
Oh yeah. I'll
He
bet Diesel
he's
probably
getting
loved
older.
that.
He has hip problems, and it gives
Mhm.
him like a nice big. It's a mattress quality futon, but I'm trying to
Mhm.
debate. But Diesel's been laying on it. It's hysterical.
Aw. And Lisa, I see you guys go to auctions. So when we talk about watching what we spend, I mean, it's like what goes out of your house. We cut off the cable when we moved. When we moved up here, we cut the cable off. I didn't want the expense anymore. We hardly watched TV. It made no sense, and we didn't have kids at home. We cut that off. We get our water hauled, and when we first came up here, we had a company that hauled it for us, and then we started hauling it ourselves. Just figuring once we got the right setup for hauling it ourselves, you know, try to eliminate some of your services that you might not even use that much. I'm sure, Lisa, you've done that. You guys go to auctions. What else would you say about the finance piece and saving money?
I
And
think it's a mindset.
Mhm.
I think it's a mindset because I could easily drive to town every day and get a coffee.
Mhm.
I like foofy coffee,
Mhm.
but I don't do it because I'm not working now.
Mhm.
I still could do it, but I'm choosing not to.
Yeah.
We have some really good coffee shops in town.
Mhm.
Um, but
What's your favorite store brand of coffee? What did you find to substitute? Because in my mind, what I'm telling my family is we need to learn how to make every single thing we like. Like that, what we like to go buy, we need to learn how to make ourselves. So I'm assuming you don't just do without coffee. I'm assuming you found a good brand you like. Am I
no,
right?
I buy the cheapest I can find.
Do you,
That
do
see,
you use
here's the
creamer or
thing.
do you drink it black?
No, I use half and half. I have to use half and half.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. I am so simple.
Mm-hmm.
I am so simple. There is really just a few things that I insist upon, and that's half and half in my coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But I really could, I will eat what's put in front of me. I am a simple
Me too.
person.
It's what
And
got me
I
in
don't
this mess.
complain. So if me drinking cheap coffee means I get to stay home,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what I'm
Heck
drinking.
yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yep. I'm the same.
True Northern
I
girl.
drink decaf, but I do like any coffee. I'll buy what's cheapest also because it just doesn't my palate. Plus I throw a bunch of crap in there. I put my cayenne pepper, maybe some cinnamon,
Yeah.
um, maybe some cacao, whatever. So I always flavor it up differently anyways. So to me, whatever I'm starting with doesn't
Yeah.
matter that much.
My chickens eat better than I do. No,
No.
no. I'm just, to me, the priority is the
Mhm.
quality of my life.
Yes.
So if that means I'm drinking coffee out of a red can,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't care because
Yep.
the quality of my life is I am doing what I want to do. I am enjoying my life. if my husband, who has chosen to continue working for his own reasons, says to me, "Hey, I'm going, or hey, you want to go get lunch? We go get lunch together." That's quality of life, right? Because I'm spending time with him, whereas normally I wouldn't have been here to go out to lunch with him.
Right?
And the same thing with if he, like last week, he called and he said, "Hey, tomorrow I'm going to go to I got to take a ride to so and so to pick up a bunch of equipment. You want to come with me?" I spent the entire day with him while he ran work errands, and it was great. And yes, Barb's Country Home, I am still bad at that too. I need my cigarettes. It's terrible. Um, that is one thing I don't skimp on either. I will admit, Barb got me there. But even though that's awful, I also
That's a hard habit to kick.
Oh, and I've kicked it before. You think I'd do it again, and we've talked about it. But anyway, that's one place I don't skimp. But you know what? I skimp everywhere else.
But I think you bring up a good point, though, when we're talking about sacrifices that we make and related to finances. There's things that some people, man, they'd have to have a certain kind of coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like they would have to have a certain brand because that's how they roll. Yep. We might not care, but there's certain things that we have to have. Yeah. And I think that when you start to recognize and choose, do I really need this? I think that's a good question to ask yourself. It might seem like for anybody who goes to Starbucks, it might seem like it's only a $4 or $5 coffee. I don't know how much it costs these days. But if you're having one every day, and I'll swear they put something in that Starbucks coffee, because when I used to drink Starbucks coffee, I wanted one. It was the weirdest thing. I wanted one. Like if I would smoke, I'd want a cigarette, it was so weird. I'll swear they stick something in there. But just saying, we pick and choose. What if, let me ask you this, Lisa, if you were going to give everybody a really strong message about finances, of one thing you think they could do to really make a difference in their mindset or in their actions, maybe mindset, however you want to present that hardcore message, what would you say?
If you want something, you can do it. It's crap to say you can't do it. And here's what I mean by that. The minute you say I can't do something, you don't work towards it. Okay? That's the reality. You don't work towards it. Any kind of change stinks. We're not creatures who value change, a lot of us. And the reality of it is sacrifices are hard. So, and I always gave this example. If I valued fitness and I valued eating healthy, I would be very thin.
Yeah, we would.
But I don't value it. Let's just be real. And when I say I don't value it, it's obvious because I'm not prioritizing it. Okay? When you value something, you prioritize it. I value my pig's weight being right, but not my own. Right? So, but that's the thing. So you're going to follow what you value. So, I mean, to me, it's just like you have to really change your mindset and sacrifice. If you don't sacrifice, you're not going to get anything.
Oh, I want to say something. I just thought of something. I just remembered myself. And a lot of people, I think, might go through life. And, when we work full time and we have to leave the house to go to work, I work remote now. It made a huge difference in my quality of life. But when I had to leave the house to go to work, I really feel like I was and we had the extra money at the time. And maybe I even watched one of my kids, my daughter. You can spend money. You can kind of ping through your day like a ping pong ball and drop a little bit here, drop a little bit there, drop a little bit here. And I don't even mean directly. I mean, is everybody aware of those automatic deductions that are coming out of your bank accounts, for example? Little ping here. Are you aware of the services that are coming out of your home? Little ping there. Are you aware of the food that is rotting in your refrigerator because you're buying groceries you don't even have time to or energy to cook? Little ping there. I could sit here and go on. I want a coffee. Little ping there. Oh, shoot, I missed my turn because I wasn't paying attention. There goes a little extra gas, which is like almost $6 a gallon for us diesel drivers. Little ping there. I mean, I'm talking ping ponging through your day like a ping pong ball. Or what's that pinball machine, and you're dropping money throughout your day and not recognizing where it even goes.
And it's
I think
huge.
And it's huge. And that's what you're working for. So you're sacrificing your time to go to work, your time at work. Working full time takes away from being able to cook good quality food for your family. A lot of people with 2 employed adults are eating fast food 4 times a week. I mean, at least. I know we were.
Of that before.
We were. It was awful. Your health. And don't forget that you can be overweight and not be that unhealthy. Just saying.
Oh, yeah, no. And I wasn't being negative about it. I was
I don't mean it that. I'm talking personal.
Yeah.
When I started working remote, I was very unhealthy. I haven't changed drastically with my weight since I've been working remote, but I am definitely much healthier now than I was then. And Lisa, I'm betting you would say the same.
Agreed.
Because we get wrapped up into the go to work, stop and get fast food on the way home to feed the family because nobody wants to cook. They don't have anything left. And I just to kind of call out, like, where does your money go? I think the first place that people got to start is where does your money go? And be honest and real with yourself about it.
And, they talk about tracking it with a journal and stuff like that.
If you don't have time to cook, you might not even have time to journal. I don't know. What do you think, Lisa? How did you guys do it?
Just look at your bank account for the day. Everybody's using a debit card. And Joe at Garden State Gardener was talking about when he was driving Uber. Yeah. And it's so true because when I was doing my master's degree and my internship and I was driving, 2 hours a day for it. And all that stuff. Yeah, it was brutal. And then, here we're driving over 20 hours a week and doing all that stuff, it's easier to just go fast food or buy all that stuff. We do a lot more eating at home now. A lot more. And do we still treat ourselves and go out? Yeah, but we try to treat ourselves with something good.
Yeah.
And
if you cheat every now and then and have something that's maybe good to your mouth, but not to your body, it's a choice though. You know what I mean? And I don't think, I don't know. I don't want to suffer too much.
Well, I don't can, like I've told people, like, I really don't can like a lot of jelly, right? Because why? We really don't need it, first of all.
Yeah.
Right? We try to do food versus sweets and all that kind of stuff. But again, I'm not a food preacher because I'll eat anything.
Me neither.
Let's be real.
Yeah. You know what we did with our finances, Lisa? I made a spreadsheet. So I sat down and I wrote out all of our bills, the balance on the bills, the total monthly payment that we paid. And I also tracked like the estimated payoff date. And we were like, what? We have like almost $7,000 going out of the house a month. I mean, and that was just bills. That was just bills. That was the automatic payments. That was the vehicles, the insurance, the house. It was all the stuff. And we're not in that situation anymore, thank God. But that was when reality really struck of where are we? What are we spending? Holy cow, like what the heck? No wonder we're in debt. And then to start thinking about how much are we spending on groceries and how much are we really throwing away? because, they say they always put the produce up by the door of a grocery store. And I know there's some that do that and some that don't, but I heard they really try to encourage people to buy a lot of produce because they know that it's going to go bad and it's going to go to waste. So just don't let your food go to waste. Freeze it,
Yeah.
can it, dehydrate it. Just don't let it go to waste.
That's what I do. Like if I buy herbs and stuff, I'll dehydrate them now. So there's a lot less waste.
Yep.
But you brought up a really good point. And so one of the things while you were talking made me think, so like everybody thinks, we've joked about, I've even joked and done an apology for Ryan and said that, hey, I owe you an apology because your way is working because he's so cheap, right? He's a cheap, frugal man.
Yeah.
But he did not just start that in 2020. He's been that way since I met him.
Mm-hmm.
We never had a brand new lawnmower.
Mm-hmm.
He would buy ones that did not work. Mm-hmm. He would work on them, get them running. We would use it till it died. If he couldn't fix it, he'd go out and get another one somebody else was throwing out. Mm-hmm. The only time we bought our first new one was when we were moving from Connecticut to North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And I was going to be home and having to mow the lawn. And I said to him, I need something. I need to be able to start it because I can't work on it. I don't know how. Yeah. And he bought one for me. But like his mindset has been something he's had, and that man can manage money like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But if he wants something, even if he really wants something and he can buy it, he's still going to search around for the best deal.
Heck yeah.
He's still going to go to an auction. Mm-hmm. He's, but then he does all that because if he does see something that he really wants and it's brand new, he'll go get it. Yeah. And he deserves it because he works his butt off for it,
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's a good point. Do you know when my husband and I first met, he found my hairdryer in the garbage can. And he's like, and all I know is I came home from work and my hairdryer was back on the bathroom counter with some black electrical tape and it worked again. That's all I knew. I was like, hey, he's like, yeah, don't throw anything else away before you come to me first. I was like, okay. It quit working. I put it in the garbage, but it could be fixed.
Yeah.
And he's the same way. Avid shopper on OfferUp and Craigslist. And we've never, I'm trying to think, like, what have we, you want to know what we bought new? We don't buy things brand new. We get things from estate sales and moving sales and thrift stores, OfferUp, Craigslist, just why? I get some clothes new, you know what I mean? But we bought a mattress new from Sam's Club. It was on sale. It was supposed to be a good one. And then we went to a moving sale and we bought some mattresses there. And we've owned a pest control company. We know how to check for bed bugs. They did not have bed bugs. And we actually, our main mattress that we use is the one we got at the moving sale. It's like way better than the one we got at Sam's Club that was on sale that we thought was already expensive. And I think that's a really good point, Lisa.
And
always a deal.
And I wanted to say hey to Fallen Arkansas veterans, which is Charlie and Vancity.
Hey, Charlie.
Prepper. And I'm going to put, I think it was Lazarick was talking about like struggling with managing money. There's a channel called Snow Gardener 307 Budgets. First of all, there's always local resources near you that they have free classes usually that teach people how to budget. There's a lot of stuff free online. But I will say this, Marlene at Snow Gardener 307 Budgets has gone from massive debt to really tracking all their spending and stuff. And I wanted to share that with you because it's really incredible. I'm not even going to type the name. I'm just going to put the link in there.
Okay. I'd like to check her out.
She's in Wyoming, and you may look at her videos and go, holy cow, that's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. But she's doing it, and they're going on trips. They're going to go to Australia. They went to Vegas, all while getting out of her debt.
Awesome.
So it's just really good stuff. Really good stuff. But so Tammy, we are out of time. Do you want to just open it up for a couple questions if anybody has
Sure.
any?
Yep. Anybody have questions for us? And I love the message that you shared, Lisa, of don't say can't. Don't say I can't live that lifestyle because of blah, blah, blah. When you say can't, you're throwing in the hat before you're even in the game.
Hey
So
Nancy, our treasured home. Sorry I missed you.
there was a book that I read years ago, and my husband and I talked about making a change in our lifestyle a couple of years before we actually did it because it took planning. And the book that I read was called Life by Design, and it was about really looking at your life. Are you living the way that you want to? Um, how do you want to live? Being honest with your core spirit, and saying, I'm in this. So I was in a job that I didn't agree with. I was doing pharmaceutical research. I don't even like to take medications. It was awful. We had a pest control company. We don't even believe in pesticides. It was awful. I feel like everything I was doing was in disagreement with my soul. You know what I mean? And how we were living in a rural house. We were on acreage. We had an irrigated lot. I could grow what I wanted to. I didn't have time to do as much gardening as I wanted. I was working all day and coming home and working more for our business. And the little town we lived in became a really big town. I didn't want to live in a big town. I wanted to live in a little town. It wasn't our style. We had to drive 3 hours to go have fun like we like to have, with our quads, with our boat, camping. We had to drive 3 hours to be able to do it. Was an event. We could only go if it ended up being a weekend thing. And on the weekends, everybody else was there. And my husband and I aren't the kind of people that like to go into crowds. We go places when no one is there. So I'm giving you examples because I hope that everybody takes a minute to assess, how are you living every day? Do you like fast food every day? Or do you really wish that you had time to cook for your family? Really assess your lifestyle and don't tell yourself you can't make a change. Because Lisa and I are both here to encourage you to say, yes, I can. I just need to change things. And then you have to ask, what can I change?
If you would have told me that we would have had all that we have on 2 acres, I would have told you that I would have not believed you.
Mm-hmm.
But it just takes a lot of work, a lot of planning and all that, and you have to do things differently.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we are able to raise all the meat our family needs with the exception of beef and salmon.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even the beef, we are considering not buying local cow this year because we have huge amounts of food that we have raised.
Uh-huh.
So, hey, Life with Linda and Chuck. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Joe, I couldn't agree more with you about that, and I just, that's the biggest thing when people say they can't. When we say we can't, we shut
Mm-hmm.
down and we don't try.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
it's
if you
all
take
about,
any first step, take the word can't away and find a way. Start looking at why, assess the why can't you. Is it
that's
because once you look at those things, some of the can't might surround, we don't have the money. Well, where does you ask that next question? Because our money goes towards, and make a spreadsheet, make a list, write it on a piece of paper. Where does your money go? All of it. All of it. Start with bills and then go to the cash. And then ask yourself, do I have anything here that I really don't even care if I have or not? Um, and then just get creative. But I would say step one, take out can't.
yeah. And hey, Leanne at Mennonite Farmhouse. So I'll leave you with this. If you think about, you ever hear one of those stories, and then we'll get going, but you ever hear one of those stories where somebody goes through an awful, I don't even want to say the word awful because it's not awful enough, but like the tragedies that people have been through, and they do unbelievable things. Like somebody said they were never going to walk again, right? They never said they can't.
Mm-hmm.
They had the mindset of, I have to do this. And they did it. So that's the mindset that we all need, but instead we get very comfortable. So, well, guys, we are going to get going next week. We will be back on Mtn Grandma's channel. So thanks for spending time with us today. We appreciate y'all. Tammy, any last words?
Thank you, everyone, for coming. I hope you all leave today taking the word can't out of your vocabulary. And we're going to continue this discussion next week on my channel. I hope you'll join us over there. Look forward to seeing you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody. Take good care and stay cool, okay? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.